Let me make sure. Okay, I'm recording. Last time I didn't record properly. Hi, y'all. This is Crystal Latu, and welcome to our team Zoom tonight. What we're going to be talking about tonight is following up because this is critical for your business. This is what creates that residual income instead of making it just like any other job. Because if you don't follow up successfully and keep your customers and keep your ambassadors ordering, then you're still doing that work every single time. But if they continue to stay with you, that work that you did months ago, and they're still ordering and they're still successful, then that's where it really turns into residual. And as you add more team members and as more customers, then it really starts to grow. And that's what sets apart our industry from regular 9-to-5 jobs. Okay. So we have to keep them engaged. We have to keep them on their products. We have to keep them and problem solve with them so that they're successful. So I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple different types of following up. So first, we're going to talk about what do you do with new customers or new ambassadors? What does that kind of look like as we're following up? Because if you over follow up, then it might be too slow, and they're going to maybe get frustrated because they're not seeing the results as fast as maybe they're kind of getting this implied idea that they're supposed to be seeing the results that soon. If you go too long, they lose focus, they fall off the consistency wagon, and they disengage, and then it's really hard to get them back on the wagon sometimes. Okay, so thanks, David. What does that look like? So a new customer, what do? Okay, I sign somebody up, a new customer, new ambassador, and I let them know, let me know when you get your products. I will send you the schedule on how we start because, we don't like to start everything at once. There's a specific way we like to stagger you in so that your body kind of doesn't have a negative reaction to too much. I tell them, your body's going to freak out if it's getting too healthy at once. So we don't want your body to go, whoa, too healthy, too fast. So we want to stagger you in so that you get the best results. And also, the products aren't one size fits all, so we want to be able to problem solve with you. And if you do have some sort of reaction, we want to be able to pinpoint what product you're having issues with so that we can problem solve through that for you. Okay, so that's the very first thing you do is just kind of lay that groundwork in the beginning. Like, this is a journey, this is a partnership, we're going to be doing this together. Your success with these products is dependent upon your communication with me because it's not a one-size-fits-all system. The products they work for everyone, but the way they work for you is going to be different than they work for me. So I have that conversation when they order, when I'm talking to them on the phone. Then they get them, in about 3 to 5 business days. You have those people. I had one this week. I kept asking, hey, I kept waiting. Well, first of all, I kept waiting for the text. Hey, don't forget to let me know when your products come in. And I knew it was about the time. And finally, I didn't hear anything, and I called, and they're like, oh, yeah, we just read the bottle and started them. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a reason. And I tried to back them back off and talk them through that and let them know why we start the way we do. And then I still, even if they start them all the way that they want to, they read the bottles, I still send them the schedule. So when they either text me or I figure out that they have the products and they've already started, I send them the schedule of how to get started, and I send them the video on things, what to expect from your products. It kind of talks about maybe some die-off symptoms and consistency and water and things like that. There's a great one that I send from Tara Castaneda, and then there's another one. It's a little bit longer, but I'm sure it's really, really good, and it's from Brooke Hemingway. You can make your own, or you can use one of those. And eventually I'll probably make my own, but right now I'm just been sending Tara Castaneda's. It's really good. So I send the steps. It has how to mix the slim. It has what products to start each day. I tailor it to the products that they're on. I let them know again that communication and consistency are key for these products working for them. I mention water, and I show them the video. So it's kind of lengthy, but I try to keep it just focused and to the point. And so I send them that and I send them the video. And then I check with them about week 1. I don't want to, they only got on the probiotic. If they're following my system, I start them on Slim for 2 days, BioCleanse for 2 days, and probiotic day 5. So I check back in with them on day 7 and let them know, or see how they're doing. So something that I do is I ask specific questions, because I learned early on, if I was just saying like, how is it going, or how are your products? They're saying it's fine, because they don't know what's not fine. And so I really started asking specific questions. I asked them, hey, are you on the full dose of everything? Because they don't know what the full dose is. I say 1 Slim, 4 BioCleanse, 2 probiotic. Are you on the full dose of everything? And they're like, yes, or they say no, and we work through that. Some issues that might come up when you're talking to them, or is they don't like the Slim, or they're going to the bathroom way too much. Maybe they're having a reaction to the BioCleanse. I've heard a couple people, not many. One, they might go to the restroom a lot. It's sure then that's normal, but it should become more regular. If it doesn't, then we start to back down until we find that comfortable dosage. But then you also, you might get that they're having a rapid heart rate. And at that point, you'd want to back them down to 1 BioCleanse and then work them up to 2 and then 3 and then 4. And I've had people have a bad reaction and now they're taking 6. So it's all about following up with them consistently. Okay. You also might want to take it this time, ask them, how much water are you drinking? Are you getting in half of your body weight in water? Well, that is really a big struggle for me. And so you want to give them, strategies about how to get that water in. Maybe they focus it before meals, before snacks. What else is something I tell them to do? I tell them to get a bigger water bottle instead of a smaller water bottle, because I fill up my water bottle the same amount of times, whether it's the big one or the small one. So with the bigger one, I've just noticed I get more water in. So that's one of my techniques that I share with them. And what else? If it is a BioCleanse issue. So some people have an issue with their routine. And so I help them problem solve through it, either encourage them to move products, set alarms on their phone. I talk to them about what does their day look like and try to problem solve with them when they could get the products in. So that is part of our job. They're not going to figure it out by themselves. Some of them will, and some of them will do great, but some will not. So, and the baby monitor is about to start beeping for some reason. Okay. So ask them specific questions. You also might send them, if they start to say, oh my gosh, I started this and I feel nauseous, you need to send them the Candida die-off. Like there's articles online. Send them the information, reassure them that that is actually a great thing that they're getting through die-off, because though it's a little uncomfortable right now, when you come out on the other side, you're going to feel better and better and better. So you want to send them an outside source that should, I usually just go, there's a great one that a lady, like she's African-American lady, and she's like touching her head like this, and that article is great. So I always know it's like that one is the one I want to send. And I just type in there Candida die-off symptoms, and it's a great article. It comes up, and that's usually what I send. It has all of them, reassures why it's happening. And then we want to talk about if they're going through detox, we want to add milk thistle, vitamin C, and Epsom salt baths just to help that detox and make sure that water is up where it needs to be. Okay. So those are some of the strategies. Make sure you're sharing that info. Our job is not just to educate them and get them to buy. It is to continue to educate them on the products. Then you might start asking some questions. Like I said, more specific questions. How are you sleeping? Have you noticed more energy? What about your mood? What about your caffeine intake? So ask them, have you lost any inches? Have you noticed your clothes fitting any differently? You need to ask them specific questions, because a lot of people don't recognize these things on their own. And so they hear your question and then they're like, oh, well, I didn't even know that it was going to help with that. And yeah, that actually has been happening. I just thought it was kind of a coincidence. Or they might even say like, I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, but and sometimes I ask, have you had any victories or concerns? But I really like the idea of asking more specific things. I was also watching another video that talked about just sending them little information when you check on them through the month. You don't want to check on them every few days. I check on them once a week for about 4 to 6 weeks, and then I start to spread it out. If they're really rolling with their products, I start to spread it out, and then I check on them twice a month. But one of the ones that I check on them, I don't necessarily ask about Plexus. It's a relationship business. So I have them in my cards, like beginning of the month, end of the month, depending on where their auto ships are. And I sometimes just ask them like, hey, I saw that you were at the ball fields the other day. How is that going? Or great family pictures. Oh my gosh. Da, da, da. I try to continue that relationship with them. Because again, people don't really care what you know if they don't know how much you care. And so keep that relationship going. And then on maybe the second time, after, you've already done your 4 to 6 weeks of steady, consistent following up and educating all along the way and asking specific questions all along the way. Then you start checking in with them twice a month, and you want to hit them with some personal and build that relationship stronger. And then you also want to talk about the product. So do the same, each month as that goes on. Okay. What else do I have written down for you guys? Oh, you also, another great strategy that I heard from Brooke Hemingway is you can always send a great testimonial as the months go on, like, oh my gosh, I just saw this and it reminded me of your story, or a great video or product information. And just remember, we want to continue to build belief in the products, and we want to continue to educate them as they stay on their products. And again, if they're starting to have problems, like you see that consistency is an issue, or that they're having die off, or a specific like BioCleanse issue or Slim issue or whatever, then you want to, of course, not just stick with a week, then maybe drop it down to 3 days. 3 days, 3 days. Okay, we're starting to do good. So we're going to go to a week. Okay, we're still good. Now we're going to do twice a month. Okay, so that's kind of what my system looks like. And I use the follow-up. I use the follow-up box here. Why do I use the card system? Because I've heard other diamonds talk about the card system. It really clicked with me and made sense. I have cards 1 through 31. Everyone I talk to about Plexus gets a card and a name on it, and then I date it for when I talk to them, and so that I don't over follow up, because I realized I was over following up or under following up in the beginning of my business. So the card system, I don't care if you use the card system, but you need a system so that you're not over following up or under following up. If you have no system, then you're working against yourself completely. So just make sure you have something in place to kind of keep you in line and keep you organized. Another app that someone told me about today, my power partner, is called, I think it's called Trello. It's a free app or website where it's kind of like a virtual box thing, and it's Trello. And so you might check that out, and it's kind of like the card system, but you can classify them with colors and in categories, and it sounded really cool. And so I need to check into it because I like apps and stuff like that. So anyway, have a system. I have the 31 days because I have a customer I talked to last night. She's a potential customer, and she's going to sign up on the 30th for the probiotic and the BioCleanse. So I take her out of today, and I file her on the 30th. So that on the 30th, I pull those cards, I look through them. Some people I just touch personal. Oh my gosh, how are you doing? Whatever. And then other people, like her, I'm going to say, hey, I'm so glad it's the 30th. Can't wait for you to get started. Are you ready to order today? When are you free so I can take your order over the phone? Okay. I've been taking a lot of more orders over the phone because the website is a little tricky. And so I don't want them to get frustrated and scared off. So I just kind of take that into my own hands and do it that way. Or say, there's 2 ways we can do it. You can send me your information and I can set it up, or I can take your order over the phone. And either way, they're giving me their information. Some people aren't comfortable. And then, of course, I send on my website and the steps on how to do it. But I've really just tried to get away from even sending that information. Anyway, I think this is kind of going, I don't want the recording to be too long. So I will do another video at a different time about following up. Actually, you know what? It's not that, the information's not that long, so I can do it really fast. Okay. So the other topic is, how do I follow up with a potential? If I have someone that asks me about Plexus, or we've had a conversation, what that might look like is, we're going back and forth and then it just stops. Again, I might re-engage them with a question. You always want to be bouncing the ball back. Okay. Bounce it back, and maybe follow up with a video or a testimonial. Hey, I saw this and I thought of you, what you shared with me. And, I'm really excited for you to get going, because I really know that these products are going to work for you. If they do ask for your website and they go there, just don't be afraid to ask them point blank. Hey, I'm just wondering if the price scared you off, because a lot of people see the retail price on the website, and the wholesale price is a lot lower. And I can also show you how to get your products for free if that's an issue. Just talk about the elephant in the room, okay? Don't be afraid. I think sometimes we're fearful to ask specific questions or to say the hard stuff because we think that it's going to scare them off, but it actually does your business more benefit to just ask about the elephant in the room. Ask it with love. Be soft with it, and just let them know, like, I totally understand why you feel that way. I felt that way when I started, but what I found with Plexus is use that feel, felt, found, and put them to ease. Okay. If they're still, like, at that point, they're just ignoring you, let them sit for a week or two and then circle back around to it. Anytime there's a promotion or video, a testimony, a special going on, an event that you can invite them to, then circle back around and ask for that. Make sure that you're speaking from your heart, you're sharing from your heart, and you're sharing with passion, and that your concern is them. And then also, like I said in my follow-up, I pull a group of cards every day. A lot of those people haven't ordered yet. They're all potentials. And so I don't necessarily message every single one of them about Plexus. Some people I just love on, and some people I just talk about their kids, their family, their job, whatever they're putting out there, or whatever I saw last, or a trip that they just took, and I just engage them on a personal level, because sometimes you have to back off and just be building that relationship stronger in order to circle back around and have the Plexus conversation. People buy into you way before they buy into a product. So the people at the top, they already had a lot of people that just bought into them so easy. And so you want to be building that relationship. I was not that people friendly. It's still uncomfortable, but I'm getting better at it. Small talk. I mean, I honestly, in my personality type, I really just didn't care, right? I don't care. So I kind of had to force myself into a spot where I do. And that is what's awesome about this business, is that we get personal growth disguised as a business. So, just kind of keep that in mind too, that sometimes if it's uncomfortable for you, then it's a great opportunity for you to grow in that area, and you're going to come out stronger on the back end. Because now what I have learned is that small talk isn't as uncomfortable if I'm just talking about them, if I'm just asking them questions, letting them kind of lead me into another question, because it helps them buy into me when they're not even talking about me. Everyone's favorite subject is themselves. So be more interested than interesting, and just ask questions and be bouncing back the ball all the time. And then you can always circle back in of how, in a conversation all the time, like someone was talking about a vitamin today, And I was like, and she's pregnant. And I was like, oh, I'm totally going to take my X Factor when I'm pregnant. And then she said, oh yeah, I've been looking at that. And I think after I have the baby and I'm nursing, I'm going to get into that. Then she started talking about how she maybe wants to get out of education and she wants to homeschool, and she would love to be at home. And I'm like, girl, you just need to start selling Plexus. And her husband was sitting right there and goes, we just had this conversation about homeschool and about Plexus. And so we're just planting little baby seeds and then circling back around to just a friendship. So those seeds, we water a little bit here and there, and then they'll come around for us. Always reach out with promotions or specials, or the Slim Challenge gives you a great reason to reach out to a whole group of different people each month. So I'm going to open up for questions. Remember, questions specifically about following up, questions that you might ask, or what it looks like. If y'all have no questions, we'll go ahead and end the recording. But do you have anything?
Okay, I have a question, and my apologies if you've already discussed it. But I have, so in the past week, I've had 2 customers, one who stopped, actually 3. One who stopped because she felt like she wasn't getting the results. She was only on Slim and Block. So that was kind of frustrating because I know.
Is she the one that just ordered?
No. She, this was a couple weeks ago, and I think you and I had already talked about it. Like, after we had gone through the spiel, we even had a third-party validation at the end. She was like, I don't really think I have a gut health problem. And I said, you know what? I didn't think I did either. But we only know what we know, and it's not until we take a chance that we realize, oh, I didn't even realize it was wrong,
How long was she on the products?
I think she was on it since December.
Oh, okay.
But it was just Slim, and it was just Block.
Yeah, it's really tough when they don't listen. I've had people take like Slim Boost for 6 months, and all you can do with that is this is what I would also do. I never take customers that quit, ambassadors that quit. I never take them off my list. I'm still checking in with them at least once a month when they're not even ordering. I'm not always talking about Plexus though. I'm just still building that relationship. And then I look for the opportunity to say, hey, have you thought about starting your Plexus again?
Yeah.
How about this time maybe you try the triplex? But I would also ask my friend if she wanted weight loss results. I would ask point blank, how's your water? What is your workout routine? Are you tracking your food intake? I've had people say that, and they're not getting results, and they're on all the products they should be, but I'm just not losing weight. Well, it's not a magic pill. And so I talk to them like, what is your workout routine? Ask the tough questions, because this is the thing. They're either going to quit because you ask the tough questions, or they're going to quit because they're not getting the results they want. Well, exercise is recommended even on our website. It enhances, it makes healthy choices easier, but you still have to be making healthier choices.
Right.
I think sometimes people just take the block and think, oh, I can eat this whole pizza because it's going to only be half a pizza. And then they're still eating like 2,000 calories,
Yeah.
So I just ask the tough questions, and I ask specific questions. What is your routine for your workout? Are you taking it every single day? Have you thought about, ask them about the triplex, which I know you have. But then from this point on, she quit. So just keep loving on her. Keep having that. Because this is what I do. I have all these customers that they order and then they don't order for a while. But then I have some other people that I keep in contact with. Now they order this month, and then they didn't order. So it's like this constant. I have some that order every single month. We have no problems. But other people come on and off. But so basically you just want to you want a big customer base if they're going to be going on and off so that your PV stays kind of where it needs
Right.
to be.
Yeah, because I know it's going to suffer this month. And then I had another girl just message me yesterday whose auto ship came through and said, I want to take a break because I don't feel like I am having as much results. And that, like your questions, is when I started to ask her, because I was like, before I give up on you, because that's what I don't want you to think that. I mean, I can tell you whatever will make you happy. She started saying like financial reasons. And then she started saying like, I wasn't seeing the results as quickly as I wanted
And
to.
when they say financial reasons, most of the time it is money, but that's when we need to follow up with, do you know how easy it is to cover your price, your product?
Yeah.
I would love to share how easy it is. So easy with Plexus to cover the price of your products, and then you can get what you really need to get the results you want. And I mean, I'm sure you have 3 or 4 friends that need these products. Everyone needs these products.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you're saying all of these things. It sounds like you're saying the right things, but that it's just gonna happen. The key is to just be talking to a lot of people and building that customer base so that if some fall off, you're not like all the way bottomed out and building every time.
And I've got, God, at least 3 or 4 that I just need to talk to. It's just finding that time. And it's tough because I want to message every day, but then I don't want to sound like I'm desperate. But then if I let him go, I don't want him to, so sometimes I feel like, hey, the best time for me is 5:30. If that doesn't work, let's figure something else out. I don't want to bug you, but I don't want you to think I forgot about you.
Yeah, either. I would also give them some space. So like definitely follow up with them, try to find that time. But if it's kind of getting to where it's like, all right, we've tried a few times, then you need to back off and give them, 3 or 4 days or even a week and circle back around to it. Because again, it does I know that we don't want to let them fall off, but we also don't want to come across as desperate because that is a turn off. And so definitely give them some space, maybe hit them with a testimonial, or a video like this made me think of you. But I would not recommend messaging them every day. I do kind of like a 2-day minimum, unless they say like, I'll talk to you tomorrow, because you're always trying to nail down that appointment and be specific with your appointment setting. Like, okay, well, can I call you tomorrow at 5? You want a specific time so that they are ready. And then they know, like, if you call them at 5, okay, I just send them a message after that. Like right after we miss an appointment or we couldn't have a hookup, like I had someone on Sunday night that didn't answer, and she knew I was calling, and then she wasn't responding. She left her phone at home. I don't know. So then I just sent her a message. Hey, this was me. Just let me know if there's a time for, good for you tomorrow. And then I'm kind of waiting for her at that point. If she does not respond to me, I give her probably 2 to 5 days, depending on the person. And then I circle back around and say, hey, girl, still thinking about you. Did you change your mind about wanting to I just ask them plain out. Did you change your mind about getting the information?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, no, I've just been so busy. And I'm like, okay, well, when are you free tomorrow or Saturday? Can you talk on your commute, or can you talk after bedtime?
I always try to push that commute. Yeah.
Kids go to, can you talk after bedtime at 9:00 or something like that? So you can try that as well. But I definitely believe in giving them space and just basically give them space and then go start another conversation with someone new. Just always be starting those conversations. And then the more people that you have in the conversation mill, it actually gets a lot easier to give people space. But you also don't want to forget about them either. So that's where your card system or whatever system you have comes into play, so that you don't let them fall through the cracks to follow back up with in 2 days. Hey, Angela, do you have anything you want to add about following up?
No, honestly, you're like queen of follow-up.
Okay.
So, I mean, I kind of do the same thing that you do. Like, I'll follow up weekly. And honestly, I've started following up weekly for probably 2 months. I mean, I just message them, like, because you just never know. And it's so easy to, like, for them to fall off, or sometimes they don't respond to you. So then I just make sure that I message them again the next week. And, but yeah, so I kind of do the same thing that you do. Now, when it comes to potentials, obviously it's not weekly, but on customers and new ambassadors that are on their products, I try to stay on top of them like that.
Okay.
All right, y'all, I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it though. Hold on.
I used to be bad about that, and I feel like I've been gaining better results with following up with them consistently.
Yes, for sure. And I think that my people, what I found is I follow up with them at least twice a month after the initial part, because I found it out. A lot of people said just follow up with them once a month after that. And so that's all I was doing. But then people would stop being so consistent with their products. And so that's why I went back to at least touching base with them twice a month, no matter what. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop it.